We have an amazing church. When Jen and I came here in 2006, this was the farthest north we'd ever lived. It was the smallest town that we'd ever lived in. The average pastor coming out of seminary and heading to a new church stays for 2 years, and we've been here for 13.
I think I knew Peace Church was my church the minute I walked in the door. The very first service, the music touched my heart. The message was so personal. I knew instantly.
That first Sunday, our kids came away saying, "This is it. We want to come here." And I think our end goal is we always want to have a church where our family and our kids want to come.
Given that we have young kids right now, how Peace really has tried to serve families and to give us opportunities to go on date nights or to have events for us to do as a family together, and just we have felt very supported.
We feel very fortunate to have found Peace Church, and our Christ journey has definitely been enhanced dramatically in the 18 years we've been at Peace Church.
I think it's one thing to know who God is. It's another thing to really feel God in your heart. And that's something we really feel at Peace, and is something I wish everyone could feel.
While our church has many blessings, we also have our challenges that God is calling us to address as a church family in the next season. One of those challenges arose in the fall of 2018 when we had a safety security audit of our facility. The results of the safety security audit showed that our children's ministry wing had far too many access and exit points. In addition to that, the audit also showed that our facility lacked what's called a more safe and more secure entrance. Another challenge that Peace faces is our current debt. And if you were here in 2006, Peace made a significant capital investment in our facility. First, let me say, let's be thankful to God because that risk and investment worked. The kingdom was expanded through taking that risk. However, we still have a monthly mortgage payment of $11,000 that goes toward that debt. We are incredibly welcoming with our volunteers and engaging new people. However, when a new family walks into our church, if someone's not there to greet them and navigate them through our facility, they can look like a deer in the headlights. There are numerous twists and turns and different areas to check into and out of. And in fact, when a new family comes in, if they have kids, by the time they get checked in, they can be 10 to 15 minutes late to one of our worship services because navigating through our facility can be a challenge. A final challenge is a change in worship patterns. If you look at Peace's demographics, it means that we continue to reach more and more people. We continue to grow. However, people are worshiping less frequently than they once did. That poses challenges and makes us ask, how do we become a 21st century mission center that's not behind the changing curve, but's ahead of it in sharing the gospel and risking for the kingdom? But there's some really good news. We are on it. We have a plan to enhance our facility, to retire our debt and become debt-free, and to position ourselves well so that we're ahead of the curve when it comes to reaching people for the sake of the kingdom. We're calling this 2-year journey that we want to take together Momentum.
For them to be honest with the congregation and say, here's where we are financially, here's our goals. If they're willing to share that with us, we're on board.
I think that they have done a thorough job of determining that this is the next step for Peace in its growth within its walls and outside of its walls.
With the upcoming Momentum initiative, my wife and I will definitely be supporting it. When the church is called to start a new initiative, hopefully almost all members will step up and be active in it.
As part of Momentum, there are several buckets that we're going to fill with our regular generosity and with our expanded generosity. The first bucket is our mission and ministry bucket. That includes everything that Peace does day in and day out. Another part of that first bucket is preparing for the future. We're going to ask questions about vision and the future and how we adapt to changing trends and patterns in worship. Our second bucket is our facility enhancement bucket. And this space I'm standing in now will look markedly different. It'll be refreshed aesthetically, and there'll be a single entrance behind me into our children's ministry wing. Our next bucket is the debt retirement bucket. We're estimating that if we can raise an additional $600,000, that will retire our existing mortgage and make us completely debt-free for the days ahead.
I think as a church living in affluent America that we need to, on a regular basis, look at our own level of generosity. Individually and as a church also, do we really believe what is a great Reformation scripture, that God is our refuge and strength in ever-present help in trouble? Or do we believe that it's my investments are my refuge and strength, or the state of the American economy? If we really believe that it's God, then I think that gives us a degree of courage and freedom to give as He leads and trust in the end that He's going to provide.
Jen and I love this church, and we're in a season of prayer and reflection, and we will be expanding our generosity to help our church gain momentum. And that's my challenge to you as well. I want you to take time, pray, reflect, spend time with God, and ask Him how He's calling you to expand your generosity in this next season as we gain momentum for the sake of the kingdom.
I don't know how you could come up with a higher priority than giving back to support a community like Peace, where your kids are living out their faith journey, and so are we.
The generosity is not only about making a donation, it's about making a difference.
At the time, it may feel like a sacrifice, but in the end, I always get more in my heart than I have given. And so is it worth it? Always.